All this story would begin in the final battle of the Tournament of Power. That's right, where the last two warriors was giving a great battle. These were the Saiyan Son Goku of the Universe 7 and the mortal who exceeded all his limits, Jiren. These were giving a very tough battle. However, when Son Goku was about to take Jiren off the platform, he would plummet and fall to the ground, very badly injured, leaving Jiren surprised. This would continue the same until the end of the tournament, where before making the wish to the great god Sarama, the great priest, grand priest of a powerful and accurate blow attack, would leave the great Zeno Sama on the verge of death. Meanwhile, his guardians were just watching what happened. Everyone else was in shock to witness the betrayal of the great grand priest before the Zeno Sama. At that moment, grand priest was going to finish everyone. However, the Zeno Sama of the future launched to attack him. However, Grand Priest, with an extremely powerful attack, would exterminate him. I have been training for all this moment. I will not let you ruin my plans, damn dwarf. Grand Priest was about to exterminate everyone present. However, the Zeno Sama of the present would stand up very injured, and with his last energy reserves would rise to the air to say the following: "You will not get away. You will not get away with it. Soon you will pay for all this." In his mind, he would tell Goku and Vegeta, "You are the salvation for this universe, so this will happen again. I will use a forbidden technique that will allow me to go back in time. You will keep your memories and powers. Over time, you will be able to even surpass my power." Zeno Sama would launch an attack on Goku and Vegeta, disappearing them instantly, while the guardian angels were very amazed, wanting to help Zeno Sama. Do not move. Absolute paralysis. Grand Priest approached Zeno Sama with a cold look. "Crumb, Zeno Sama, your aim is failing. Instead of deleting me, he deleted his only friend in the Saiyan Vegeta of Universe 7. You should never rule this universe. You are practically a child." Grand Priest would turn his back on Zeno Sama. However, at that moment, Zeno Sama would quickly stand up. Total cancellation. Megaversal restart. Grand Priest, when he heard those words, wanted to stop him, but it was too late. That's right, the High Priest had trusted himself. Total cancellation is a technique that allows you to cancel everything created and return the years that the bearer wants. Everything was a restart in the multiverse. All those present would forget that event, except for the great priest, who was furious to realize that he was in the palace of the King of All 25 years ago. However, he began to smile. But if the useless Zeno Sama sacrificed himself, that means that at this time there should not be a king at all. Thank you, damn dwarf. You have made things much easier for me. However, Grand Priest was surprised, since without him expecting it, someone had thrown him a great sphere of ki. Grand Priest noticed the attack and at the last moment was able to dodge it. "Who the hell are you? Don't you know who I am?" Grand Priest would observe the guardians. The palace of everything cannot enter anyone who is not a divine being of high power. "But what's going on, Grand Priest? Did you hit your head or something?" "She is..." At that moment, a girl noted. "You two shut up. For me it is much better that she does not remember who I am, so she will not resist." Grand Priest, without understanding anything, would raise a large part of his power by throwing him a strong blow which the girl would stop with a single hand. Grand Priest was amazed since he would have used 60% of all his power in his blow. He began to raise all his power in an incredible way, and with all his power he would give him a great blow, but there was no change. That's right, in the same way the girl stopped him with a single hand. Grand Priest, without giving up, would throw a bullet of blows, which the girl dodged without any difficulty. Grand Priest was able to hit one of his blows, which would send her to crash into the palace. The guardians were in shock. Great Nemesis Sama. She would leave with a big smile. "That blow has caused me a little damage. Are you okay, Queen of Everything? Grand Priest, upon hearing what was said by the Guardians, he was in shock. He approached and apologized. Oh, how boring. The fun is over. Well, Priest, clean up all the mess. Grand Priest would obey and he would give himself. That no-sama was so powerful as to go back in time and at the same time create a real queen of everything. Hopefully those Guardians are easier to dominate so that they betray her. Meanwhile, on a very distant planet, to be more exact, on the planet Vegeta, two Saiyans would have been born with a surprising power, surpassing the vast majority of elite warriors on the planet. His father, King Vegeta, and Bardock were very proud of them. These two Saiyans noted to each other, "What happened? Where are we? Damn it! Damn it, why do I feel my body so small?" Time later, the two Saiyans would leave the incubating machines, going each to their home. The Kakarot Saiyan with only 1 year of birth could fly like the Vegeta Saiyan. They knew they had sealed their power, and they had to waken up little by little and take revenge on the damned Grand Priest. However, it would have been 4 years since Grand Priest went to the planet of Beelzebub, god of the destruction of the Universe 7, Beelzebub. What a father's surprise to be in this place. What do you offer? I have to talk to the god of destruction. I see. Of course. Let me wake him up because Mr. Beelzebub is taking a little nap. Whis would wake up Beelzebub, who would get up very upset. Who bothers a god of destruction? However, at that moment he observed Grand Priest and began to tremble. I'm sorry, Grand Priest Sama? Tell me, how can I help you? You have a mission, Beelzebub. Destroy the beautiful planet of the Saiyans, without exception. Of course, Grand Priest Sama, whatever you order. Whis would order the Emperor of Evil that he annihilates all the Saiyan races. Of course, Whis Sama, whatever you say. Meanwhile, on the beautiful planet, Goku and Vegeta would have noticed that they were meeting all the Saiyans and they knew what Frieza was up to. Meanwhile, in the atmosphere of the planet, Bardock was fighting against Frieza's army. Frieza, seeing how all his warriors fell, left his ship creating a great supernova, while Bardock would create a spiritual cannon, but it would not be enough. Meanwhile, with Goku and Vegeta, they were on the surface of the planet, and by observing and feeling the attack, they would teleport in front of Bardock, disappearing the attack with a single blow. Everyone was surprised, since a child disappeared the attack of the great Frieza. Goku would take a step forward. I will not allow you to destroy this planet. Goku and Vegeta would go to the Super Saiyan, causing all the rasters to explode and everyone to tremble in fear. I will take care of him, Kakarot. Goku, knowing Frieza's power, would not be a rival for Vegeta. He would transform. Go to your last form, damn insect, if you don't want me to finish you in one blow. Frieza, scared, would pass his final form, launching to the attack. The collision of blows was overwhelming. That's right, the collision of his fists made the entire planet of Vegeta tremble. After a few moments, Vegeta was controlling the whole battle. Frieza had realized that even with his last form, he was a rival for the Prince of the Saiyans. In a few years, we will need you for a tournament, damned insect. Meanwhile, stay in that park of flowers that you hate so much. Vegeta would load a powerful final flash, throwing it at Frieza, eliminating him completely, leaving no trace of him. All the Saiyans would praise Goku and Vegeta, telling them that these were the Super Saiyans of the legend. Goku would help his father, taking him to a recovery capsule. They kept training, however, in the Kingdom of Everything, Grand Priest said, "Damn it, how can I make your guardians betray that damned girl?" He could see that he was much more feared and respected than the dwarf of Zeno-sama. Grand Priest would also realize that the Queen Nemesis-sama controlled her power 100%, and it did not only depend on her ability to erase, but also on a physical force that surpassed that of any warrior in the universe.
That stupid girl controls all her power, so it will be much more difficult for me, since if I attack her, I will die in a blink of an eye. Grand Priest would put a cold look.
Zeno-sama, you have won a battle, but the war, of course, you will not win it. You have created a completely authentic kingdom. Meanwhile, on the planet Vegeta, everyone was still amazed by the power that the little Saiyans had shown. Sometime later, the Saiyan Bardock would have recovered from all his wounds and was training. At that moment, Goku would approach him. "Father, could you train with me, please? In fact, it makes me much more powerful." "Of course not, Kakaroto. You are still a child. I could kill you with a single blow." Bardock would not know everything that had happened, since he had become unconscious when the supernova approached him. However, Goku insisted so much that he managed to convince Bardock, who would accept to train with him. "Okay, then let's have a friendly fight between father and son, Dad." Goku began to raise his power a little, leaving his father surprised. "Kakaroto, I have always wondered how you have so much power." The fight would begin. Goku was obviously holding back too much, giving him some blows that would leave him a little wounded. It would have been 14 years since the power tournament. These already dominated the Super Saiyan Blue, and also 25% of the Selfish Doctrine. When Goku turned 15, he spoke to his father, telling him everything he had experienced, telling him from the battle of the power tournament until the great priest betrayed them. Bardock was surprised by what Kakaroto said. "Is my son a god? I can't believe it." "That's right, father. Vegeta and I are on par with the gods of destruction, and we could be considered Saiyan gods." A few months had already passed, where both warriors would have already reached maximum power as mortals. But nevertheless, Keno-sama left them his power, being able to rise from the lowest mortal ground to the highest divine ground, surpassing gods, angels, and kings of everything. However, they continued to train. Meanwhile, in the Palace of Everything, the Queen of Everything Nemesis was very bored, so he decided to take a walk through all the universes, and doing a review in the Absolute. However, when Nemesis was in Universe 7, he felt two extremely powerful ki that surpassed his gods and angels. Flashback: Goku and Vegeta had teleported to an inhospitable planet so as not to cause damage to the rest of the universe. They had created a powerful barrier that they could not feel their powers, but Nemesis, being much more powerful and having a perception of ki greater than that of any living being, she could feel her ki. End of the flashback. Nemesis would teleport to said planet, where she would observe two warriors with silver hair and imposing gray eyes that showed authority. Both aliens, realizing their presence, would stop their training. "Who are you? Do you need something? Who are you, damn insect? Don't you see that we are training, and we could end you with just one of our attacks? Better get out of here." Nemesis, noticing that these subjects did not know who she was and spoke to her so naturally, was interested in them, to which, without giving notice to anyone, he would launch at a speed of light that even Vegeta, with the perfect Ultra Instinct, was not able to dodge a powerful blow that the Queen had given him. A powerful blow that the Queen had given him,
Nemesis had given a powerful blow to the Prince of the Saiyans, who would send him a few meters to fly. Goku was surprised by the power of that blow, while the Queen of all Nemesis thought that she had killed that warrior, because a normal god would have died. "I'm done with your friend. Now it's your turn." At that moment, Goku was on guard. Don't think that we are so easy to beat. That attack has not managed to exterminate Vegeta. Vegeta would leave at a maximum speed of the Scorpions, and with a surprising power, the attack was launched, throwing a blow to the Queen of all Nemesis, who managed to stop that great attack. However, she was surprised. She remarked, "These guys are not normal. With the blow I gave him, I didn't want to kill him. I just wanted to leave him out of combat. But that guy, no. Any god, angel, or even my guardians would have been left out of combat with that simple blow." Vegeta would observe that the woman had stopped his blow with a single hand. That would surprise him, seeing how in his most powerful form he could stop his attack. The Queen of all Nemesis would raise her power a little more by giving him a blow that would leave him unconscious. But the power he had used was absurdly surprising, that even he was surprised. Goku, upon realizing this, would raise all his power, based on the Ultra Instinct full power. "Get ready. I can see that you have great power, so I won't trust you." Goku would launch the attack, giving him a little more fight than Vegeta. However, Nemesis would realize that this warrior was much more powerful than the one he had just defeated. Goku was using all his power. However, he was not able to give him a certain blow, since that one hit and dodged. His Ultra Instinct was on another level, being able to even neutralize the collisions of his attacks. "I don't know who the hell you are, but you are much more powerful than I. I don't understand why you don't attack me. If you wanted, you would. You are very strange, but if that's what you want, I hope you can stand it." Nemesis would teleport in front of Goku, and this at a maximum speed gave him a strong blow. She thought she had won. However, in the bottom of the crater, she would observe as said warrior would stand up once again. Nemesis, seeing the resistance of this, asked, "What is your name? I like to know the names of the subjects of great powers." "My name is Goku, although I am also known as Kakarot. You have been the most powerful rival I have faced, but you lack power. This is not all my power." Nemesis was a little surprised by what the Saiyajin said. "This cannot be true. How is it possible that a mortal has more power than even a god, or even my guardians?" At that precise moment, Goku began to raise his power in a surprising way, and raising it quickly, making everything around him tremble. Nemesis was shocked to feel how the power of that Saiyajin managed to overcome that of her guardians, destroying the planet where they were. Kaioken has increased 100 times. At that moment, everything began to tremble. Nemesis was not only able to see a red flash, and seconds later was thrown into a mountain with a brutal force. Goku would continue with his attack. However, from one moment to another, Nemesis had one of his blows and with a smile would tell him, "It was a good warm-up. You are the second being that makes me use 25% of all my power." Goku was surprised, since he could not believe that this woman is only using 25% of all her power. "Who the hell are you? And how do you have so much power?" Nemesis increased his power to 30%, and with a single blow would leave him out of combat. It was better if you don't know where my power comes from, not even who I am. Nemesis threw a sphere of ki to Goku and Vegeta, marching to the Palace of Everything. That sphere would enter the body of both Saiyans, healing all their wounds. After a few hours, both would realize that they were alone. However, Vegeta was furious to know that a simple woman would have humiliated him in such a way, and defeating him with a single blow. Vegeta, that woman must be a super destructive goddess. Since I used the Kaioken increased 100 times, and she said she only used 25% of all her power. Vegeta was surprised. However, a voice would resound in the head of both Saiyans. They are Goku and Vegeta.
They are Goku and Vegeta. You have been reborn, and with the help of Zeno-sama, since you are the hope of this multiverse. Goku and Vegeta was surprised and a little confused. I am the creator of the Super Dragon Balls, the god Arama, and I come to offer to give them a stealth training, since I can observe in one of my premonitions how the whole multiverse will fall into total annihilation. And even the queen of all Nemesis is not a rival for these warriors. Goku and Vegeta, realizing that the situation was due to death, knowing that they would also become much stronger, they would accept. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of Everything, Nemesis would have returned. The great priest with his guards would have realized that this had had a great battle. By observing their destroyed clothes, Grand Priest was shocked to know that somewhere in the 12 universes there was such a powerful warrior, able to hurt a little Nemesis. So Grand Priest was thoughtful. If a warrior was able to leave Nemesis like that, I cannot imagine what could happen to me. I was pulverized, since even I, using all my power, was not able to make a small scratch. Grand Priest would start with a hard training in a special room. On the other hand, in a dimension far from the 12 universes, to be more exact, in the world of the immortal gods, Goku and Vegeta were found. They did not know anything. They only felt the power of beings of an overwhelming ki. At that moment, a subject appeared with a very apical appearance. I am the god Arama, the one in charge of training them. The great Zeno-sama gave his life and his powers so that you can be reborn. Goku and Vegeta, realizing that said subject knew everything that had happened, they agreed to go with him. Sarama on the way would tell them everything that had happened in that multiverse. You have just faced the new queen of everything, Nemesis. Goku and Vegeta were amazed to know that they had fought against a queen of everything. We have arrived. Now, yes, we will start with the strongest training they have ever had. So get ready, since in that room only the kings of everything surrender. Goku and Vegeta entered that room, but the moment they did it, a strong gravity would crush them. I thought they were much stronger. Zeno-sama gave his life for insects like you. At that moment, a subject appeared, Time Without Vertex Kakaroto and Prince Vegeta. Goku and Vegeta could not distinguish who he was, since the said subject was wearing a mask. I see that you have grown quite, Vegeta. Prince Saiyan would recognize that voice. Father, what are you supposed to do here? Shouldn't you be on the planet Vegeta? Sarama would get into the conversation.
Your father is indeed on the planet Vegeta, but this King Vegeta is a dimensional warrior. But there was a failure in one of the times after the death of Zeno-sama. Some warriors have returned. Among them, 2 are the most dangerous. And so it is, they are their evil counterparts. One is Darth Vegeta, who in his timeline killed all the gods, but it was sealed by Zeno-sama, while evil Goku in his timeline did the same. Both warriors met in these dimensions and became companions of death, becoming more and more powerful. Zeno-sama does not erase things, only seals them in a dimensional portal. And if a Zeno-sama dies of any timeline, everything that was once sealed will return irrevocably. And nothing or no one can avoid that. So these 2 subjects are released throughout the multiverse. And in my premonition, not even Nemesis can stop them. That's right. That's why we'll train to be rivals for these subjects. With Goku and Vegeta hearing that the new villains were themselves, they were surprised. If it is to protect the 2 universes that Zeno-sama commissioned us, we will do it. If Kakarato's insect is going to become more powerful than me, I'm not going to stay behind. At that moment, the warriors began to train in that room. Meanwhile, out of that place in Universe 7, King Cole would have arrived in search of revenge. Flashback. One of Frieza's soldiers was able to survive, and he communicated with King Cole, informing him that some Saiyans who changed their adored color defeated Frieza. End of the flashback. King Cole would reach the planet Vegeta, destroying everything in his path. At that moment, King Vegeta and Bardock would face Cole. Who were the bastards who defeated my son? It was the Prince of the Saiyans, my son. King Cole, furious, would launch the attack, where both Saiyans would begin to have a great equal battle against King Cole. After a few moments, the 3 subjects were very hurt. That's not all my power. That's right, I can also transform. King Cole would go to his last form using 50% of all his power, giving a beating to both warriors, leaving them very hurt. However, from one moment to another, when they both got rid of their attacks, these would have transformed into Super Saiyans, since their children would have taught them how to do it. The 3 began with a very fierce battle, where the Saiyans were putting King Cole in tight. That's right, he would use all his power, being at peace again. Receive this. The Saiyan race is the most powerful in the universe. Spiritual canon. And at that moment, King Vegeta would not stay behind, also carrying one of his most powerful attacks in the palm of his hands. At that moment, King Cole would try to stop that great attack, but it was impossible for him. That's right, he was reduced to atoms. The 2 Saiyans would fall to the ground very badly injured. Both were taken to recovery capsules. Meanwhile, in the palace of the Queen of All, the Queen Nemesis was found, thinking of the Saiyajin's son Goku, who made her use 25% of all her power. She would wonder, has that warrior become much more powerful than the last time? She would decide to go find him, to ask for another friendly fight, since she had too much fun. She left the palace of the King of All, going in search. However, Grand Priest was in a room to exceed her limits and be able to kill the Queen of All, Nemesis. On the other hand, the Queen of All had come to the planet Vegeta. In that planet, there are 2 Saiyans with silver hair as their eyes. The only ones who knew about this were King Vegeta and Bardock. since their children had told him everything that happened. They knew that the girl was looking for them. "Why are you looking for these Saiyans? You look like them. Are they your parents?" Both Saiyajin would affirm what he said about the Queen of All. "Now tell me, where are those Saiyajin? I want to have a battle with them again." Both would refuse to answer the question asked by the Queen of All Nemesis. The Queen would begin to get angry, raising her power in an incredible way. "If you don't tell me where those Saiyans are..." Nemesis would have used a great power because the Saiyans refused to tell them where Goku and Vegeta were. Meanwhile, on the planet of the god destructor Beerus, Willis would have awakened Beerus from his deep sleep. "Willis, if you wake me up for some stupidity, I will destroy at least one solar system. Beerus, the Queen of All Nemesis, is in our universe. To be more exact, she's on the beautiful planet of the Saiyans." Beerus was in shock to know that Frieza would not have managed to destroy said planet. As Willis says, the Queen of All is in our humble universe. Let's go right now in case those damned monkeys make her angry and destroy this whole universe. Beerus and Willis would leave at full speed from the planet of the Saiyans. However, when they arrived, they only observed how everything was being destroyed little by little. Where King Vegeta and Bardock, when they observed Beerus, they rejoiced, "Beerus, help us please." Nemesis, upon hearing that name, would turn to see. At that moment, Beerus would bow, and King Vegeta, along with Bardock, were surprised to see how a god of destruction of their universe had so much respect for a simple girl. They were terrified to hear what Beerus remarked. "It gives me honor to have her in our humble universe, Queen of All Nemesis." Everyone was trembling at what the Beerus had said.
God Destructor Beers, I'm looking for two Saiyans who made me use 25% of all my power. Beers and Wills, upon hearing that, was in shock, since they could not believe that a simple Saiyajin would make the Queen of All use so much power. "No, I do not think that is possible, Queen of All. Do not you believe my word, Beers." At that moment, Beers was dumbfounded and terrified. It is very difficult to believe that a mortal surpasses the power of a god of destruction, and much less that mortals have surpassed the power of an angel and being equal to 25% of all his power. If those Saiyans do not arrive in 24 hours, I will destroy the whole universe, including you, Beers. Everyone started looking for the Saiyans. "What do I do now, Wills? I do not want to find anyone who makes Nemesis-sama use 25% of all his power." After the 24 hours, where Nemesis would return to the beautiful planet, and seeing that the Saiyans were not there, she would get too angry. I gave them a 24-hour break so they could find them. So now I have no choice but to exterminate them. Beers and everyone else inquired for mercy for their lives. However, the Queen of All Nemesis would carry a large sphere of ki with the ability to erase. Just at that moment that the attack was about to hit everyone, two silhouettes would appear in front of that great attack, disintegrating it. Nemesis would not understand what had happened. Without giving it much importance, it would recharge its attack again with much more power. To which the same would happen. A voice was heard. "So you plan to destroy my planet, Nemesis? Well, I won't let you." Flashback. Goku and Vegeta would continue training. At that moment, a signal would arrive to Sarama, stopping the training. Something bad happens in Universe 7. The Queen of All Nemesis is on the beautiful planet and wants to fight and is about to destroy her planet.
Goku, feeling the power of the attack, would teleport together with Vegeta appearing in front of that great attack. End of the flashback. Everyone was surprised at how someone had stopped that attack. Even Beers and Wills could not move due to the pressure of their ki. Goku would return to see Nemesis with a serious look. She would shudder a little and say, "What is that feeling? My body says I'm in danger." However, without following her instincts, she would increase her power a little more. "I am the queen of all, and I can erase everything you want. You can erase planets and universes, but let's see if you can erase a city." Narrator. The echoes of battle faded, but the weight of fate remained. Goku gathered himself, knowing the real trial had only just begun. At that moment, Goku at a brilliant speed and saw the attack. However, compared to the first time, on that occasion the Queen of Everything could not see anything. She only felt a powerful blow that would send her to the ground. Bill and Wills was amazed. Just by observing how the Queen of Everything was in front of them with a simple blow. What the hell? I was not able to see anything. Nemesis would raise her power to 25% again and would attack the Saiyajin. However, she would realize that she was being mocked, since the Saiyajin only dodged and blocked some blows without any difficulty. Nemesis, realizing this, would raise her power to 50%, giving her a big blow to the face. That's right, the Saiyajin would return to see her with a smile. "That blow has only tickled me." Goku would throw a kick that not even with his 50% he was able to stop. He would take out Bill and Wiss's feet. They would try to help her. Nemesis, annoyed, would raise her power to 90%, shaking everything around her. "I did not expect you to become so powerful in this short time. Now I will show you the power in which you will never be able to reach." "Are you sure, Nemesis? I'm only using 45% of all my power." All those present was in shock. Nemesis, furious, would go on the attack. However, there was nothing to do. The Saiyajin Son Goku had overcome him by far. On the other hand, in a very distant place there were two Saiyans destroying planets and becoming more and more powerful. One of them would stop. That's right, and he would observe the vast universe. "We have been hidden for a long time. It's time for the gods of this world to fall. I can feel an immense power millions of kilometers from here." "Calm down, Kakarot. We must know the power of all these individuals." At that moment, they felt the collision of shocks that destroyed everything in their path, and they could even get to where they were. Returning to the battlefield, the Queen of all Nemesis was very hurt. Nemesis, furious and with the intention of killing, would launch an attack with the ability to erase Goku. That would respond with a similar attack. "This is impossible. I am the only one who can count on the ability to erase." Goku, at the time of being about to explain, would reach Grand Priest. "So you reborn dirty mortals. You do not know what awaits you. I will make you suffer until you are killed and ask for mercy." We would have cured the Queen of all Nemesis. What the hell is going on here? What is this about, Grand Priest? You are nothing more than a simple copy of Zeno-sama. You are not the true Queen of all. Only I deserve that title. Nemesis, furious, would launch the attack, where Grand Priest would stop his blow with a simple hand. "Now you are no longer a rival to me." Grand Priest, of a strong blow, would leave her lying on the floor. Goku was preparing to attack. However, the Prince of the Saiyans would advance, passing the perfect Ultra Instinct, throwing a big blow to Grand Priest. That he was not able to observe this attack. "I see that you are much more powerful than that stupid queen." Grand Priest would elevate all his power, causing the whole multiverse to tremble and shudder. The power that was released was absurdly incredible. At that moment, two rays began to hit his fists. This battle would define the future of the whole multiverse. A clear winner could not be observed, since both warriors were very equal. Meanwhile, Goku was with the Queen of all Nemesis, giving her a little of his power so that she can recover completely. At the moment she opened her eyes, she would blush a little watching how the Saiyan had her in his arms. Meanwhile, Grand Priest would have taken the lead in the battle, giving a very good blow to Vegeta, who would fall very hurt to the ground. Goku would observe this. "I see that you have trained, Grand Priest, but you still cannot beat me. I will exterminate you." Goku would release an immense power, passing to the Ultra Instinct full power. Goku would launch the attack, giving a beating to the Supreme Priest. They would have been fighting for a few hours, where at a point in the battle they would move away. "You have raised your powers a lot, Saiyajin, but I am only using 65% of all my power." Grand Priest would elevate all his power, causing everything around him to tremble, and that a few planets were destroyed, causing everything around him to tremble. "Well, I'm not using all my power either, Grand Priest." Goku began to raise his power quickly, causing his hair to grow to his waist. His appearance was imposing. All the universes trembled when they felt such power. The Queen of all Nemesis was surprised that this was the true power of Son Goku. Whis and Beast were scared and could not move due to the pressure they both generated. Goku at the end of his transformation would have reached the powerful Ultra Instinct Phase 3. All those present could not believe such power. Whis and Beast could not feel the power of Son Goku. But yes, their terrible pressure. Goku would give a blow to Grand Priest, which would leave him lying on the ground. And he would charge a powerful Kamehameha, which would leave him in ashes, leaving no powder of the Supreme Priest. Whis would heal everyone, knowing that his father would want to exterminate them and rule all the universes. Meanwhile, Goku and Vegeta would tell him everything that happened to Beast, Whis, and the Queen of all Nemesis. Everyone was surprised at what these Saiyans had done. "I understand. So that's why I was taken out of my original palace. Everyone would not understand what this would mean. I am not from this multiverse."
I don't remember what multiverse I am from. At that moment, a voice would resound saying, "Son Goku and Vegeta must be careful, since in a very short time, their evil counterparts will arrive. King Vegeta is about to help them, but they must survive." Goku and Vegeta told him what the god Sarama had told them about the death of the King of all, and that between them, two evil parts of themselves returned. From one moment to another, a sinister power would appear, where two eyes throughout the gigantic universe could be observed. "So, you are our kind counterparts?" Everyone was seeing the two new subjects that would have appeared. "What do you want here? And what do you want?" "The only thing we want is to become much more powerful and exterminate every living being in the 12 universes." "Well, we won't let you, damn insect." Both chickens would go to their Ultra Instinct's full power. However, their counterparts would laugh. "What a low power these damn worms have. They won't even serve for warming up." Goku would throw himself against Dark Vegeta, while Vegeta would throw himself against Evil Goku. Everyone was having a very tough battle, where both Saiyans would pass to Super Saiyan Rose, balancing the battle much more, giving themselves some very good blows. The Queen of All wanted to do something to help, but she didn't have enough power to do it. Whis and Beerus couldn't move. At that moment, Dark Vegeta, upon observing this, would throw a very powerful sphere in front of them. Goku would try to teleport to stop her. However, Dark Vegeta wouldn't allow it. At that moment, the Queen of All would face this great attack, using her technique of erasing, but it was useless, since Dark Vegeta exceeded her power, and she couldn't erase an attack that was greater than hers. The attack would hit her hard, causing a great explosion. Furious Goku managed to elevate his power much more, giving him a great blow to Dark Vegeta, who would almost leave him out of combat, going to help Nemesis. Goku would take her with Whis and create an energy field so that she could move. Get out of this place, go to the Kingdom of All, and put divine barriers so that no being with bad energy can enter. Whis would listen and leave at great speed. Goku and Vegeta was in clutches, where their counterparts would carry a final flash and a powerful Kamehameha. Goku and Vegeta would try to counter them with the same techniques, but the power of their enemies exceeded them by a lot. The attack of both was about to collide with Goku and Vegeta. Both Saiyans launched their maximum attacks, where Goku and Vegeta could no longer do anything. That's right, the attack would collide with Goku and Vegeta, leaving them very badly injured and on the verge of death. Dark Goku and Dark Vegeta loaded their attacks again to eliminate them once and for all. However, at that very moment, he would save him just before a subject died. Returning to the Kingdom of All, Queen Nemesis was furious at not being able to do anything against these two new subjects. Bill was that he could not even move, knowing that there were two warriors that not even the Queen herself was able to defeat. Queen Nemesis was talking with Whis about everything that happened, where Nemesis would decide to train to overcome all her powers, since she being a prodigy and her ability to increase was unreal. Returning with Goku and Vegeta, they was very badly injured until a strange subject would heal them, and after a while they would wake up and observe the subject. What happened? Where are we? Why did you save us? Who are you? I am the King of All of the Multiverse 5. I am Savitar. I have observed everything that happened with these two subjects, and I can also observe a great potential in you, and even the power of a King of All. Goku began to explain how they had the power of a King of All to the part where they fought with their evil counterparts. Savitar would understand everything that happened. I will train them. Goku and Vegeta got excited, where they started with the training with which the King of All is Savitar. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of All, there were some celestial barriers that did not allow a subject with a negative intention to enter that place, so they was safe. However, giving Goku and Vegeta were causing damage to all the multiverses, killing each destroyer god and his guardian angel. Damn Vegeta, there is no powerful subject that can face me. Calm down, Kakarot. Remember that the Queen of All and the deities of Universe 7 could flee. At that moment, they should have become much more powerful. Both AANs would go to the Kingdom of All, where they wanted to enter was impossible. They will not be there forever. At some point they will have to leave, and at that moment it will be their death. Both AANs would leave the Kingdom of All. Whis and Bees was very scared. Meanwhile, in another very different dimension, the Queen of All Nemesis was having a rigorous training to increase their powers and be useful in this new multiversal battle that is about to begin. Meanwhile, with Goku and Vegeta, they was also having the most difficult training they had had so far with the King of All, Savitar. After a few days, Savitar would approach and seriously tell them, "Now I want you to raise all your power to the maximum." Both AANs would raise their power to the maximum, where they both got a new transformation called the Super Saiyan Silver. His power exceeded dozens of times the power of the dominant Ultra Instinct. They began to train this transformation since they did not want to have a waste of energy. Returning with Dark Goku and Dark Vegeta, they were furious, returning to the Kingdom of All and raising a large part of their power, reaching the Super Saiyan Rose Phase 3. Those with their most powerful techniques would break these barriers and began to massacre everyone who was in that place. However, from one moment to another, a gigantic power was felt, and it was nothing more and nothing less than the Queen of All Nemesis,
who had finished her stealthy training. This would raise her power to the maximum. I will return the humiliation that they made me go through, damn it. And just a few seconds later I had given him countless blows to Dark Vegeta, leaving him on the ground spitting blood and very badly injured. Dark Goku, when observing everything that happened and feeling the monstrous power that was released, that would raise his power to the maximum, giving him a great battle. However, it was not enough before the furious queen who wanted to destroy everything. Nemesis would charge a great attack with the ability to erase. However, seconds before the attack hit both Saiyans, they would have merged, bringing Dark Vegeta, being able to stop the attack with a little difficulty. Dark Vegeta would observe her fixedly. You do have to make yourself call a queen of all, since you do not compare yourself with the power of the kings of our world. We did not believe that we would have to use the fusion to defeat you. In a few milliseconds, Dark Vegeta would have given him a powerful blow that would throw him to the ground spitting blood. He would not stay like that and launch the attack again, being in vain. The power of Dark Vegeta had surpassed him by a lot. Returning with the king of all, Sabaitar, and the Saiyans, they had already managed to dominate their new transformation. They have achieved an extremely incredible power, but still they should not underestimate their enemies. Since they are about to die, they merged, and now not even the Queen of all, Nemesis, is a rival for that subject. I will transport the three of them to that place. Good luck. Goku and Vegeta would arrive at the battlefield, observing Beast and Wish at the edge of death, while Nemesis was very badly injured, but she would continue to fight.
No, you will not defeat me. I am the hope of all this multiverse. I am a queen of all. Goku would grant some of his powers to the deities of Universe 7 so that they recover. However, when he was about to help Nemesis, she would fall to the ground at the edge of death, where Wish would go to his rescue. Goku and Vegeta would return to see Dark Vegeta with a cold look. Are they angry? I don't know how the devils managed to survive, but the result will be the same. Vegeta, if we really want to win, we have no choice but to bring Gogeta. Vegeta would angrily accept knowing that they were not rivals for that warrior. Dark Vegeta, realizing what they were going to do, tried to stop them. However, in front of this, Wish, Beast, and Nemesis would stand to give them the time they need. We can't stop him for so long, so hurry up. Goku and Vegeta would make the steps of the fusion, and a light would illuminate the whole universe, making him also shudder. That's right, Gogeta would have appeared in the battlefield, becoming the Super Saiyan Blue, where Gogeta, at a supreme speed, gave a big blow to Dark Vegeta that would take him away from everyone. Thank you for the time you have given me. Now don't worry, I'll take care of the rest. Gogeta and Dark Vegeta began with a great battle. In the skies could be seen rays and how the dimensions were screaming due to the power of these two great warriors. It's amazing. I'm a queen of everything, but even so, I can't see almost anything. From one moment to another, both warriors would move away, and with a serious look, they would observe each other. It's time to fight seriously. I'm already bored of you. I say the same. The warm-up is over. I hope you are ready. Dark Vegeta would pass the Super Saiyan Rose Phase 3, where Gogeta would pass the Ultra Instinct full power. Both was giving a great battle. However, the one who had the advantage was Dark Vegeta, starting to give some good blows. They have been the most powerful rival against which I have faced, but they are not capable of defeating me. At that moment, he would launch a final Kamehameha, being able to make everyone around him tremble by the extortion of his ki. Gogeta, feeling such monstrous power, would pass the Super Saiyan Silver, making the attack disappear with a simple scream. Dark Vegeta was surprised.
He does not want to use this transformation, but your end has come, dark part of my being. You have ended the life of the entire multiverse. I hope you are ready to die." Gogeta began to give a machine gun that Dark Vegito was not able to see anything. That's right, Dark Vegito knew that his death was approaching. "Please forgive me, life. You will no longer know more about me in that multiverse. I swear." "I cannot do that, Dark Vegito. You have done too much damage to that multiverse and other megaverses. I cannot leave you alive. Receive this, Heavenly Soul Punisher." Dark Vegito began to disintegrate when he made contact with him. Gogeta would de-transform since her whole body was made into pieces by not dominating all that power. The Queen of all Nemesis and Ui would approach him to be able to help him and recover his energies. "How did you get such power?" "When Goku and Vegeta merge, the power I have is incredible. You really must be called Saiyans gods." After a while, Gogeta would de-merge, returning Goku and Vegeta. "I want to train with you three to become much more powerful." What nobody knew was that an even greater power, that of the 6 kings of all together, was watching them. So those two Saiyans are the saviors of this multiverse? Interesting. Let's see what they can do with this. This being spread a large amount of negative energy throughout the 6 multiverses. That's right, each king of all was trapped by an incredible negative energy. The most affected were the kings of all. However, when that negative energy was reaching the Multiverse 4, which was the Queen of all Nemesis, Goku and Vegeta realized being able to neutralize said power, making Nemesis not be affected. However, for all the other multiverses, the kings had as a mission and goal to assassinate Goku and Vegeta since they were a potential threat. Oh damn it, the king of the massacre. I must communicate to them before he completely dominates me. Saboteur would communicate telepathically with Goku and Vegeta. "Goku, Vegeta, the king of the massacre has released his negative energy throughout his universe. Each will be..." "What happens, Saboteur-sama? What happened?" At that moment, Saboteur's calm heart had been filled with an incredible amount of negative energy. "I'll kill you, damn monkeys. You don't know who you're messing with. Each king of all has enough power to make the pieces. Get ready." Goku and Vegeta were surprised to realize the sudden change that the king of all had Saboteur with them. What the hell is going on? Who the hell is the king of the massacre? I don't know, Kakarot, but what I do have sure is that we must become much more powerful, since even the kings of all are being manipulated by that due subject. What has happened, Goku, Vegeta? Are all right? Remember the negative energy of a few days ago, Nemesis? Well, this energy has been responsible for the kings of all to fill themselves with an incredible dark power, having as desires and mission to kill Vegeta and me. Nemesis was a little surprised by what I said about Goku, where he would gather all the gods of destruction along with your angels. I have gathered them here on this day because a totally dark energy on a large scale is approaching us and we don't know its origin. That's right, now the enemy is much more powerful than even giving Goku and Vegeta being able to eliminate them with a simple snap if you want them. All the gods was surprised because they with their maximum powers will be rivals to give Goku and Vegeta. They will all return to their multiverses, however, they were very worried about what was going to happen. Vegeta, we must become even much more powerful. We must break the barrier of Super Saiyan Silver and surpass the level of a king of all. Goku and Vegeta would begin with their new training along with the Queen of all Nemesis. That's right, they were all willing to break their limits. However, from a dimension of the Kingdom of All, a powerful tremor was felt. That's right, the dimension had broken. Who is this majestic power? I can't believe it. He has an incredible power. The power of that subject is something that even Gogeta could not do anything against him. Damn it, Kakarot, now who the hell is he? The whole palace began to tremble and shudder. An incredibly powerful pressure was present in the place. Don't you remember me, sister? Narrator: the echoes of battle faded, but the weight of fate remained. Goku gathered himself, knowing the real trial had only just begun. That voice? Is that you, Shiro? Goku was surprised to hear what that subject would have said and to witness the murderous aura that was unleashed. What? What do you mean, brother of the queen of all nemesis? I'm surprised you are with these two Saiyan men. So I remember that you were the queen who could not stand any mortal who was below her power. I don't remember what you're talking about, but those two subjects are much more powerful than me. Approximately 50 years ago, for a desire, I am in this multiverse. I see, that's why you have that pathetic power. You are not the nemesis I remember. I don't know what you're doing in this place, but if you want to make fun of us, you can leave. Don't say nonsense, Nemesis. I haven't seen you for millions of years. Of course I won't leave. Besides, I want you to awaken your true power and accept for once and for all the demonic blood that runs through your being. I now remember, we are the family of the super-endowed demons.
That's right, little sister. And you always decided to turn your back on us and reject your blood. I'm not interested in that power, Shiro. It's a disgusting power. If you get to control it, of course you don't. So look at me. I will train with you, and if I change my mind, I will. Goku would get into the conversation. Are you going to train with us too? I think you have enough guts to address me with that nature. Shiro commented to expand his power throughout the kingdom of everything, where he would stop moving Goku and Vegeta. What the hell? I can't move a single finger. The pressure this guy puts on is incredible. Damn Kakarot, never measure your words. Now it's your fault and we're in this problem. Goku would create a small sphere of ki to cut himself and be able to move freely. Vegeta, when he saw what Kakarot had done, did the same. Well, well, so they managed to defeat fear with pain? That seems very interesting to me. From tomorrow on, I will train only with you two Saiyans. Weren't you going to train with me? I've changed my mind. I'm just going to train this pair of Saiyans. I'll make them suffer in life. No, what you want is to kill them. I've always fulfilled your whims, little sister, but this time it won't be like that. I'll train with those Saiyans, and it's my last word. Shiro would leave the place. That's right, returning to his dimension. This is what you noted. That's right, we're the prodigy demons. But against the renegade gods, we can't do anything. Wait a little longer. I swear I'll save you and annihilate this whole multiverse. Returning to the kingdom of everything, Nemesis was a little scared because she had never seen her brother Shiro that way. Are you okay, Nemesis-sama? What a plot, Shiro! You've never been like this. We can train with that guy of great power. I can't believe it. We will become extremely powerful. That's right, Kakarot. If only his projection was able to almost kill us. I can't believe we trained together with that guy. No, you must leave this place and hide. If you stay here, tomorrow will be your death. My brother has never behaved that way. I don't know what's going on with him. Don't worry, Nemesis.
He never wants to increase his powers like us. Goku and Vegeta would not give so much importance to the matter. Meanwhile, in a very distant place, to be more exact, in the Multiverse 5, the king of everything, Savitar, was found, which was the most corrupted, since this had affected Goku and Vegeta, making that effect turn into an odyssey of revenge. I couldn't wait any longer. I have to exterminate those damned Saiyans. Savitar was preparing to end the lives of both Saiyans. Returning to Multiverse 4, they were all in the kingdom of everything, and as the day passed, Shiro would arrive again. I hope you have rested well, because from today on, your torture begins. We are ready for any training. Okay, then I want you to raise your power to the maximum and fight against me. Are you sure you want us to attack at the same time? That's right, they can't do anything to me. What's more, I'll use only one arm. Don't underestimate us, damn insect. You will regret your words. Goku and Vegeta began to increase their powers in a surprising way. The whole kingdom of everything trembled by the power that both Saiyans gave us. It is correct, the power of these warriors is not normal, and one of them can feel the essence of a king of everything. Both Saiyans passed to Super Saiyan Silver, launching the attack. But what Shiro had said was the truth, since he was dodging both subjects with one arm and managing to stop their attacks. This is impossible. How can he stop us both with one arm? This is a damn nightmare. The power of that being is extremely powerful. I can't believe it. What happened, guys? Weren't you the most powerful beings in this multiverse? Goku and Vegeta would continue to attack. However, without prior notice, both Saiyans received an infinity of blows. They didn't know where they came from. That's right, Shiro showed a bit of his incredible speed. It's amazing. I couldn't see anything. I don't know what the hell is going on. At that moment, I could see both Saiyans falling, creating an immense crater. I was able to measure their powers, and they are not bad at all. Shiro remarked the same. They must increase their powers much more, since those gods have a power similar to mine. Even the power of some is much more. You have a great power. Training with you, we will become much more powerful. That's right, but they won't train with that power. Annulment of total divine power. A sphere came out of Shiro's palm, colliding with Goku and Vegeta. That's right, his power had been sealed at 90%. But what the hell are you doing? How do you want us to train? And now we can't even move in this place. It's my training method. They will thank me later. But first, they must master their base state again. Shiro began to teach them. What they didn't know was that a powerful warrior was approaching that multiverse quickly. A few days had passed, where Shiro, a little irritated, would say, "Training out here will be much longer. It will be better to train in the demonic room." Shiro, with a skill, changed places and would take Goku and Vegeta to a dimension. That's right. In that place, both Saiyans would fall to the ground, not having enough power to stand. Here we will continue with the training. Outside that dimension, about 2 days will pass, while in here, approximately 40 years will pass. The Saiyans were surprised by the difference in time, which was brutal. They began to train in a very efficient way, since his power was overflowing. At that moment, both achieved incredible power. That's right. Being about to leave that place, Shiro would return to see them with a smile. You have become very powerful, boys. It's time to give you something back. Annihilation of divine power. Liberation. The power of both that was sealed returned. But it was different, since they felt like all their veins here were about to explode, until they managed to dominate all the power again. I gave them 90% of all their power, so that they can raise all that abysmal power again. Since being powerful, their Senkai were no longer as incredible as before. And now by returning the power to them, this is the result. Both Saiyans were exploding with power. They would leave the demonic dimension. The three would feel like a warrior was about to reach the kingdom of everything. I recognize that here. It's from the king of everything of the Multiverse 5, Saboteur. That's right, insect. But, do you remember that a demonic energy had infected him? That's right, Vegeta. The G that you release is pure evil. The three warriors would change the kingdom of everything. After a few hours, a guy would arrive screaming, "Goku, Vegeta, today will be his death." Saboteur would charge a great lightning attack, throwing it at them. However, at that moment, Goku would stop him with a single hand. "I know you're not you, Saboteur, so I'll do what Saboteur would have wanted me to do for you." That's right, it was the worst mistake I made. I should have let them die that day. I swear we'll find the person responsible for this and will annihilate him. Don't worry, Saboteur. Goku, with a powerful blow, had pierced Saboteur's chest, making him perish imminently. Or this was what was thought. Since what he tried to take out of Saboteur's body, he couldn't. But what the hell is going on? Why can't I take out my arm? Saboteur's body was disappearing. Until then, Vegeta flew at an incredible speed to try to save Kakarado. But at that moment, the three were teleported. Damn it! I can't believe it. If it's not for one reason, it's for another. But those Saiyans always get into trouble. Shiro began to fly at an incredible speed throughout that multiverse, to try to feel Goku and Vegeta's ki. Meanwhile, in a very dark place, a voice would resound. So even though I fell into my trap, I can finally keep the powers of the Omega Saiyans. Who are you? And what are you talking about? They don't care about that. Only that today will be his death. Or rather, they must feel fortunate, since they will live forever in me. Don't say stupid. Vegeta was unable to finish his sentence, due to the fact that Sakura, from one moment to another, went through an attack. But this attack was special. That's right, it was an attack to extract the soul and essence of the bearer. Goku would go to Super Saiyan 4 Celestial. That's right, both Saiyans in their training managed to recover their tails, and with that, they managed to unlock a new transformation. Goku launched the attack, but his power was not enough to face a subject, and with a strong blow, he almost left him out of combat. When he finished observing Vegeta's power, he would have launched the same technique to Goku, which would use the Kaioken increased by 200 times, making Shiro feel his power. Shiro would use a change of dimension,
arriving in a second, and with his demonic eye could observe the technique in detail. He let Goku observe. Now yes, I started with the supreme power. Nobody will be a rival to me. However, Shiro would give him a powerful blow. Who are you? How could you enter my dimension? Those are questions I should ask you. Why did you absorb both Saiyans? I am the great king of the massacre, the great Sakurai, and seeing his great power, I will also absorb it, and I will even absorb you. Shiro wanted him to use the same technique. That's right, to get Goku and Vegeta's power out of his interior. Sakurai fell into his trap. Spiritual devourer. Shiro cried out at that moment, leaving Sakurai surprised. Spiritual devourer. Reimbursement. Both attacks were colliding, and a clear winner could not be observed. What will happen? Will Goku and Vegeta be defeated? That and more in the next chapter. Well, friends, that was all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it, and it was to your liking. If it was, do not forget to leave your powerful like, supreme level, comment, and subscribe. Now, without more, see you in a new video. Until next time.